Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. You're watching Life with REB, and today we will be doing a budget video. I'm gonna go ahead and do a July recap and then look ahead for what's in store for August. So we'll go ahead and start with the calendar here. And so I only have a few expenses for the month. You're probably like, that's all you gotta pay for the month? No, we'll dive on into that, but I do have this week's expenses. Today I have my Wi-Fi bill due, and that's $90, and then I have an upcoming Affirm charge on Thursday, and that will be $23. So those are already kind of, pending in the account. I'm calculating those numbers and keeping track of what I have for that. So we'll go ahead and jump into this budget planner, which I got from Walmart. It's from Pen & Gear. I think it was $5 or $6, and this just really helps me stay organized and on top of what I'm spending. I really love the spending summary in here. So what we'll do is go ahead and flip through what it kind of looks like. So I've just realized as soon as I opened this that I never calculated my total expenses for last month. I just know it wasn't good. I didn't round everything up, but I think I wrote it somewhere, or I can come back and add on here. But I do know that I did end the month with an $826 savings balance. So also on here, I have some financial goals for the year, which were to travel to Hawaii to visit my best friend. That's already paid for. We'll talk more about that. Decrease student loans, question mark, because it's a little confusing, but the military is essentially making a mass yearly payment for my student loans. I'm really just not sure, honestly, how to approach making minimum payments on this. So I've got to do a little bit more research on what I should be paying, what I can pay. Does it make sense to pay right now with everything going on? Is there going to be another forgiveness? I don't know. Anyway, that's one of my goals. And then another one is to decrease my balance on my credit cards. I want to pay off all of my credit cards this year. And when I say all, I mean two. I only have two credit cards that I use, but I just want to get my balance down to zero and then use them for all of my monthly expenses and then pay them off in order to kind of just keep stacking up those rewards balances. And then I want to also pay greater than or equal to half of my Home Depot appliance loan. When I bought the house, also got new appliances from Home Depot, a new washer and dryer, and they were a pretty big expense, and I pay monthly on that as well. So those are my 4 overarching goals for the year. And savings is not on here because I think I might have jumped the gun a little bit with trying to work on my savings when I still have all this debt to worry about. So I think first things first is going to be getting rid of that debt and then working on emergency funds and savings and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think that'll be a good direction to go because at the end of the day, if there was an emergency, I could use the credit card because the balance would be paid down. So ideally, I'm not working or I'm not trying to use my credit card too much, but that's just kind of been the reality of some things. So I also have some monthly subscriptions, Spotify, Chase. Okay, Chase is a weird story because I need to go to my job and change my direct deposit information so I can just have my checks going to Chase because they're charging a monthly service fee of $12. It's actually going up to $15, I think, by next month or this month because it's a new month. And they charge you a monthly service fee if you don't have like a certain balance carrying over, or if you don't have a payroll check depositing to the account that's greater than like $600 or something like that. So I'm basically wasting $12 a month to keep my Chase account because I don't really use it. I just have Chase because they have ATMs that are accessible and banks that are accessible. And if you don't know, USAA is a military financial institution. They just don't have brick and mortar institutions pretty much like anywhere. I think they're all in like the South or Texas or something like that, but we're near Chicago, Illinois, so there are no USAA financial brick and mortar institutions where you can go, deposit money or withdraw, that sort of thing. Also have my Amazon on here for $15. And then We Salute is a charity for veterans that I donate to every month. And then I have my Active and Fit Now, which is my gym membership that I got through my military benefits as well. Okay, So this was my July budget and situation. So I felt like this became a little bit too messy. So I definitely want this to be a little bit more clean. I feel like it's a little overwhelming. So I had my main source of income, my secondary source of income, and my third tertiary source of income. And my total income amount here for July. On this section, I have what my savings balance switched out to, my total debt um, began at $6,330 and ended at $7,933. So I did not do good on this, but one thing that was kind of somewhat new to this was my European Wax Center Wax Pass. It saves money in the long run, but the installment payments are a little pricey. And my groceries and eating out, house bills, and then my personal bills. So we'll go over a little bit more specifically when we get onto this notebook. This is the monthly spending page. As you can see, I barely logged in this. I don't like this because they don't have enough categories for my taste. So maybe I will go in here and like add lines to add different columns in order to be able to put multiple things. And then I don't know what I'll do with the total, but I guess I'll just put the total here. But it was just kind of weird. I felt like that they didn't have multiple columns for this. But also, I don't think it'll be a bad idea to go in and just put some columns because I'm likely going to spend more than once on certain categories, especially for personal spending. But like housing, I'm obviously only going to pay those bills once a month. So it depends. I'll see what I end up doing for August. We'll come back to this. So this was all of the spending that I did in July. I had to go get a note card, you guys, and tape it to the page because it was so much spending. And a lot of this was obviously preparing for this channel and getting budget supplies. And then I also had my boyfriend and I's anniversary last month. It was my good friend's birthday. It was my niece's birthday. It was my grandparents' anniversary. So I hosted them and had to get groceries for them and do things. So it was just kind of a lot of not unexpected spending, but a lot of excess spending that I basically just didn't budget for and ended up putting a few things on the credit card. And you'll see as we get into the real tea over here in a minute. But this is what this spending summary was looking like. My highest expense last month was my Hawaii flight at $550, and then my lowest expense last month was $2. Starbucks, they gave me a discounted breakfast. This was my spending for July. It was quite a bit. I really just wish I had calculated all of this. I think I might have it calculated here. I'll have to double check. So I have on here my monthly budget for August now. I've gone in and just added a couple things. As you can see, I don't have everything that's on here in this calendar yet, but like I said, as I come week to week, I'll make sure to update things. I have not gotten any checks yet this month, so no income yet, but I do have a starting balance in my savings account of $826, and my total debt starting balance is $7,750. And that is between my two credit cards and Wax Pass installment fees or installment payments. And then my total balance on Affirm for my Home Depot appliances, my Amazon charges, and my Airbnb charges. And then on here, I just went ahead and started to put my $300 budgeted for groceries and eating out. And entertainment is just not really something that happens. I don't know how to explain it. I don't really use the entertainment category. I think I will be using it this month as part of one of the gifts for my good friend. We should be going out to, I forget if we decided if we're going to do like candle making or something like that later on this month when we have like a free weekend at the same time. So this is the August little snapshot here. And then, like I said, monthly spending, maybe I will get my ruler and do some categories here. perhaps I will use this because there's probably some things that I don't think about having in here, like vacation. My best friend and I were talking about me coming out to Hawaii and things like that, but do you think it was budgeted? No, it was not budgeted. I just put the charge on my credit card. I said, while the flights are affordable for round trip, $550 to Hawaii, I don't think is bad. This actually might be helpful for me because there are just things that I don't think of. And then you'll see I have another little account on here that is called, or a category on here, I should say, that is called unexpected or unaccounted for expenses. I did not plan for that vacation expense. It was just talk, and then it was here, and then it was credit card numbers going in. And yeah, anyway, monthly spending. Maybe I will start using that. And then my August spending summary. So I went ahead and recorded spending that has already been taken out of my account or that will be taken out of my account. That's like a pending charge. So obviously today is Sunday, but Apple is already pending my $10 charge for tomorrow. So it's basically already accounted for as being gone from my bank account. My health insurance on here, $54. I had a toll. I don't know where this toll came from, y'all. I'm having like some suspect stuff going on. I think I know where this came from. I just thought about it. I had a family reunion. Put that, I think that's what it was. It was a family reunion. And I don't have the exact date, but I want to say it was early July. I don't know. I'm just going to put family reunion question mark. Sorry, my handwriting's real bad. So these are current expenses. My Wi-Fi is accounted for. So y'all, today, do not judge me, but today, for the first time in 3 months, I had to replenish my skincare products from Ulta and Sephora. So I did spend $119. This is technically like my hygiene / household category. The products that I had lasted 3 months. So I mean, do I take this and divide it over 3 months? What's 120? $40 technically a month. So I guess that means that I need to increase my hygiene and household budget to like $100 or so, 50 plus 40. So maybe I'll have to do that $100 technically for hygiene and household. I'll make that a little bit more realistic for month-to-month basis. And then technically I'm only about $20 in the negative. So that makes sense, girl math. So I also did like a little bit of a look ahead for September. One thing I did go on here and do is put in my hair appointments because I don't always have a hair appointment exactly every 4 weeks, month to month. Sometimes it's 5 weeks, sometimes it's 6 weeks. Sometimes I get a touch up because there are no appointments available in a time that works for me. So I just wanted to go ahead and put the date of my hair appointment on here. And I think I did the same. No, she doesn't even have any. And oh, shoot, I did. I went ahead and put in my hair appointment for October too, because this will be September 11th. Hold on. Is that even like within my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, 6 weeks. Okay, well, I got my October one on here too, and then after August passed, she'll have November open, and I can book that out. Like, you have to be on it with my consultant. She is a booked and busy lady, you guys. So that is my budget planner for just like, I guess, honestly, my day-to-day, because I do go in here and I try to log every day in my spending summary. Especially, I think it just helps me stay on track when I spend cash versus when credit card purchases or even debit card purchases are taken out of here. So that is my budget planner. Now this guy I created to basically outline every expense, all of my savings, all of my balances. So we'll go ahead and jump into my July recap. So hopefully it's not overwhelming, but I feel like I have it somewhat organized. Maybe I'll go ahead and like highlight the main categories so y'all can see a little bit better. So I have my fixed expenses. my savings balances. I should have mixed these in between because they're pretty close in color. My credit card beginning and ending balances. Then I have my variable expenses. My unaccounted expenses. My income. And rollover cash. And then my rollover debit card balance. Okay, so fixed expenses for July. I also went ahead and wrote at the bottom of each section for my fixed and variable expenses what my predicted versus actual expenses were. So my fixed expenses, so these are things such as like my mortgage, my car note, savings, those automatic or recurring bills, utilities. I'm sorry, utilities are variable. Let me not get ahead of myself and literally read from the list. I have my reoccurring affirm purchases on here, my Wi-Fi, phone bill, that sort of thing. So I had a total predicted amount of fixed expenses as $4,615. And my actual spending for fixed expenses turned out to be $4,540. And that is because I did not denote any money to my self-care. I didn't get my nails done. I didn't get a massage last month, nothing like that, but I did make sure my hair was done. Hair appointments are non-negotiable. If you have locks or sisterlocks, you understand that maintenance is very important. My Wi-Fi went from $90 to $80, and then my health and dental is typically $65 a month for both of those through the insurance that I have through the military. So I basically had to pay I had to back pay them for a couple of months because I wasn't getting charged monthly like I thought I was. What else was on here that was different? I think I covered the discrepancies. I started off with $526 in my savings account and ended with $826. My Walmart credit card started off at $246 and ended at $310. My USAA credit card went from $2,984 to $3,013, so a bit of balance increase there. So my July variable expenses out of my spending money, so my cash, such as groceries and eating out, and my shopping, and my gas and car wash, and then my hygiene and household, those are all of my cash amounts that are in my cash binder. And then I also had credit card interest on purchases. And then I had my electricity, my utility bills. So my water, my gas, my electricity. And then those were all of my variable expenses. So I had predicted to spend $1,095 and I ended up spending $1,724. Biggest discrepancies here were groceries. I went over $128, and then shopping. You guys, let me also, before you judge me, this is supposed to be a judge-free, safe space. Before you judge me, supplies got added to this category because budget supplies, channel supplies, stuff that you see here that costs money, and that was probably around, I want to say $250 or so to get budget supplies. This shopping also included my anniversary. I had my good friend's birthday. I had my niece's birthday. I had to host my grandparents a little bit, so that's why my groceries went up a little bit. But honestly, the groceries was also lack of preparation and not making my meal preps ahead of time. And then when it came time for me to get my hair appointment, I had to buy lunch that day. And then I also had to buy dinner because my hair appointment was right after work. So it was just like I was kicking myself in the butt because I was like, why did I not plan ahead? I could have saved $30 today on top of already having a big hair appointment expense. So, anyway, the food was good though. The food was good. I got some Panda Express. Unaccounted for expenses, I had my education $495 and then travel $550. So Hawaii is already discussed and accounted for. Education, this essentially was a mistake. I did not have to buy this year. I, for some reason, thought that my continuing professional education units, which are required for registered and licensed dietitians, we need 75 CPEUs every 5 years. I have like 4. And I waited until the last year. In my mind, I'm like, shoot, it is almost the end of the year. Like, I've got to get these courses and I've got to get these credits. And I just need to take whatever opportunity I can find that gets like a bulk amount of them out of the way. And this one tends to do like 60 something credits. And I'm like, perfect. Like, I'm going to do it. I don't care if it's during the middle of the week. I'll figure it out. I'll take time off from work. I'm going to get these seminars done, get my educational credits. I just got to write myself a quick note about something because I just thought about some of the pre-work modules that I have that are due for that. And I need to check the dates. Pre-work modules. Double check that. So I'll put that by my keys so I can remind myself. Income. My primary job as a dietitian, my first check was $23.70. Primary job, second check, 2 out of 2 was $24.70. We actually received a raise across the board, so really happy about that. So now $24.70 should be my average usual check from now on. So we'll see how that goes. Secondary income, this is what my boyfriend pays and contributes to the household each month, along with household expenses like tissue, paper towels, cleaning supplies. Like if I need anything from the grocery store, he'll ask, or that sort of thing. So he contributes this as his main amount. If you're curious, the reason why he's contributing $600 is because right now he has more debt than I do. His debt to income ratio is higher than mine. And so we agreed that essentially he will be focusing all of his additional spending money that's not accounted for bills and food and hygiene stuff. He is using that to more quickly be able to pay down his debt rather than him, contributing $1,600 and then me paying, $500, $600, $700, because it's my mortgage. My name is on paperwork and all of the bills for the house and that sort of thing. So he just gives me money and that just kind of gets dispersed how I need to. Tertiary income, I had a delayed check from Drill, so I only received $203, but I will be receiving the rest of it sometime this week. It's slotted to be deposited into my account. So my total income for last month was $56.43. So I'm gonna go ahead and add up really quickly all of my expenses for last month. So we had, let's see, highlighters were done. We're done with you guys. So for my expenses last month, we had 1,045, 1,724, actual 4,540. Oof, $7,309. So, jeez, that's a lot of money. So I'm gonna go in here to the first page here. Hey, but look, that's almost $200 less than last month. Literally $7,508 down to $7,309. So let's go ahead and write that in. Get some higher quality erasable pens. So 5643 minus 7309. Oof, I was carrying a negative account of $1,666. Compared to last month, I was only carrying like a negative of about 200. So we gotta work on that. Now that I got my, what do you call this page? Yearly overview updated. That makes me feel better. That is my July snapshot. So now we'll move into August. So I'm really curious. 46.15, 46.16. So I have a predicted balance or predicted amount for fixed expenses to be 46.16. I'm starting off this month with $826 in my savings account. But like I mentioned earlier, I think I'm going to stop depositing money into this account and really focusing more so on getting my debt down. I want to get a zero balance credit card debt before I'm just racking up savings and savings for like no reason, honestly, when I'm still having to pay interest on purchases and that sort of thing. So I'm really scared, you guys, actually, because my USAA, I made a big payment back in like May, I want to say, or June. I think it was May. I made a really big payment, like pretty much got my balance. My credit card limit is like $7,000, by the way. And I made a big payment and paid off like $5,000 back in May, and I got my balance down to like 2,000 something. Ever since then, I have not had a credit card minimum payment due. Every month, every billing cycle since May, I've been looking, and it's like $0 due on the 22nd, $0 due on the 22nd. I'm like, what is the minimum payment gonna be? Can you please just calculate it so I know? Because the interest on purchases that I used to have to pay were killing me. They were like $270 something, $370 something, something ridiculous. So I'm scared to see like what it's going to be for my minimum payment. So it's not in my fixed or variable expenses yet. But actually, do I have my Walmart minimum payment? Oh, I do. Walmart credit card payment. So, like I said, this month I still have $0.00 due for my USAA credit card. So, anyway, I'm scared. But anyway, I've gone ahead and checked off, paid my mortgage because I technically pay that at the end of July. At the end of the month, when I get my checks, I get paid on the 14th and the 28th. So that's already really taken care of. Phone bill is being taken care of. Oh, shoot. No, it's not. Wi-Fi. And I already had it checked off, $90. Let me go ahead and remove that. Phone bill is not taken care of, but Wi-Fi is. Like I said, savings might be skipped or not even on here anymore because I just don't think it makes sense to have savings and then have a crazy credit card balance and bills. And I think that's all that is already paid and taken care of for the month. You know what? This actually doesn't make sense. I technically paid my August mortgage in July, but that's because it was already the end of the month. I'm going to go ahead and erase this because this really won't get paid till the end of the month. It's like one of my last payments for the month. So I'm going to keep that empty until I actually pay it for August, right? Does that make sense? And when I actually make the payment in August, it'll obviously be for September, but you get what I'm saying. What else? What else? What else? So I carried over my credit card beginning balances. Oh, one thing I didn't share, sorry, jumping back to July. One thing I didn't share was my rollover debit card balance was $651 in my USAA account and $45 in my Chase account. Again, that $45 is probably just going to sit there because monthly service fees, and then I think I have my Spotify coming out of my Chase account, and that's like $13 or $14. And then I think that's all I have coming out of that account. So honestly, the money that's in there will be good for at least the rest of this month. So I'll figure out when I need to do another transfer, or I'll just go ahead and put my Spotify back on my USAA, and then I'll only have to worry about the $12 fee until I can find my Chase checkbook and bring my job avoided check so I can give my direct deposit information. I can go ahead and add this up, though it should be about the same as last month for the predicted amounts, $1,095. Let's just see if all the amounts are the same. Oh, they are, but I said that I was going to increase this to $100 a month to account for how frequently I have to buy my skincare and how that breaks down over. You see, it's a little like hard to draw on it after. Um, I'll, that just makes more sense, honestly. And shopping, supplies, gifts, again, I feel like I've gotten the bulk of my budgeting stuff purchased and out the way. I think I'm good on spending when it comes to that. I have my two binders, my calculator, my prop money, my budget planners, all the things. Um, Oh, by the way, I don't think I introduced this is my I need a vacation fund. So all of the leftover coins from all of my cash spending, I keep in a little baggie, and then not a baggie, it's actually like a cute little bag that I got from a coworker actually that went to Greece and brought back soap. And so I just repurposed the bag and now it's like my little coin bag. And anyway, all of my coins will go in here. So I'm going to be looking forward to see this increase. Um, and then maybe once it's full, I will take the money to a coin machine and figure out what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll create a plan for it. But so this is my August snapshot and where we're kind of at with things. So I'll come back here and update this weekly as things are paid and once I figure out actual figures for certain things. I will say, since we're in August, go ahead and budget this out. But I went ahead and took out $100 today because this will be for my groceries and eating out. 300 divided by 4 is 75, and then my gas, car wash, parking, that sort of thing. $100 divided by 4 is 25. So 75, 25 is $100. So this is what I have for the week to spend on groceries, eating out, anything with getting gas. I actually need a car wash. I got one car wash last month. I'll be getting one car wash this month. They're $9. And so this is what I have to last me for the week. So my gas tank is actually full because I filled up at the end of July with all of my remaining $100. Well, my remaining amount from last month. I don't know exactly how much was spent and where, but we're starting over fresh. It's August. So I will take $9 of this for my car wash at some point tomorrow and then figure out what I'm doing for groceries and eating out. So while we're here, gonna go ahead and show y'all my binder / pocketbook. I have all of my cards here. Just keep a pen on you because you never know. And then I'm honestly more likely to get something to eat or get some groceries before I get gas or go get my car wash, as in I might go stop and get something for breakfast tomorrow or on my lunch break before I get a car wash. So I'm gonna put this $100 in my groceries and eating out envelope. So if you looked at my budget behind the scenes video, you saw me make these labels. I got these off of Amazon. So these guys here just let me know what I have for the month to spend. And so you're supposed to use this as like to kind of tally leaving this amount, subtracting from this amount, but I'm gonna write it on here as adding it up. So whatever I do spend, I'll just record it here and then just keep track on the side, like, okay, how much more do I have until my $300 is up? So I have that for my groceries and eating out. So I'll go ahead, put this in my groceries and eating out category. And then that's one part of the envelope in the front. And then this is the actual envelope in here. So just go ahead and slide that in there and then you can kind of see it back here. And once I do break this, I'll make sure I put $25 in my gas and parking category. So these are my other categories that I have: shopping and gifts, miscellaneous. Well, now I just realized I need to go ahead and change this to 100. And I think I accidentally wrote on this with real pen. There's a back side to it. Maybe I'll just do that and wipe that out another time. So I'll go ahead and put $100 on here. And technically, I will need to go ahead and I think I'm going to carry over my cash week to week in these binders. I technically do need to put my purchases from Sephora on here. So today is Sunday. I'm going to put, why am I trying to write on that? I'm going to put Sephora and Ulta. And I spent $119. So my balance is negative 20. -19. I'm trying to be a little bit more exact with my numbers there. Oh my gosh, my niece has so much energy tonight. So this is now $100. I'm -19. So I really should not be spending anything else on shopping or gifts. I've already just told y'all earlier that my good friend and I are going to do like a Groupon event, and we're going to be doing candle making or something like that later this month, and I need to make sure I pay that. So I will be carrying over negative balance for that as well. Slide that back in. Let me just make sure the rest of these are accurate. I have a remaining balance of $444 on my European Wax Center Wax Pass for my 4 installments. Each installment is $222. I've already paid 2 installments. Hair and self-care, $300. Technically not an August expense yet, and I won't have an August expense for hair, but self-care, I absolutely need to get my nails done this month, and then I've really been feeling achy, so I'm probably going to get a massage this month as well. And then gas and parking. So this is my cash binder for my expenses and what I need to keep track of. I just keep all my cards here because it just also makes sense for me to use my cards sometimes because my credit cards get rewards and that sort of thing. And then I'll just make sure I set that cash aside to pay it back down. So that's this guy. And then this binder here is all of my for sure electronic expenses. Wi-Fi and alarm, Home Depot, my veteran donation. Sorry, that's probably in the way. Affirm, and this is all 3. No, I'm sorry, this isn't all 3 because I have technically Home Depot separate. So this Affirm will be more so my Amazon and Airbnb charges. Healthcare, gym membership, utilities, savings, USAA credit card, mortgage and home warranty, car note and insurance bundle, phone bill, Apple iCloud. Also, with Apple iCloud, you guys, if you didn't know and you have Amazon Prime, you need to go ahead and download Amazon Photos because it allows you to clear up storage space on your phone inside of its app. I don't know the math or how it does it. Don't ask me to make it make sense. But all I know is I went from 487 gigabytes out of 512 to 107 gigabytes. And the reason why I upgraded my iCloud from $299 to $999 is because I was out of space and I couldn't record videos or edit them. It was just taking too long to try to upload things. The uploads kept canceling. I was like, what is going on? I think I will go ahead and cancel my Apple iCloud subscription and save my $10 a month because Amazon Photos has just like saved my life, literally, literally. Not to be dramatic. And then my Walmart credit card. So I will go ahead and use my prop money to give you all kind of a visualization of what these bills are and what I know them to be for this week. So like I said, let's see. We'll go back to my calendar here, close this guy up. Back to my calendar, I need to Wi-Fi bill and Amazon Affirm, and I believe my Affirm Amazon is $23. Let me double check that. Amazon Affirm is $23 and then my Wi-Fi is $90. So for visual purposes, I will go ahead and budget that. Wi-Fi is $90, so I'll use my cash tray here. So we got $50, and I really like this prop money. I intend to keep it 20, 40, 90. I'll go ahead and insert this into here. And so now my Wi-Fi past the $90. And then what else do I owe this week? Oops. Affirm Amazon, $23. 21, 2, 3. $23. And again, this is money that will be coming out of my account electronically, but just so we know what it is. So anyway, that does conclude today's budgeting video. I think I gave you all the backstories, all the information that you need moving forward to feel like you know what's happening and going on. So that pretty much wraps up my first week of August budget. We did our July recap and our look ahead for the week. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and y'all have a great day. Take care.